a lot going on with Katt Williams right now? Or is there just a lot of stuff going on around Katt Williams' name?
Something about this situation feels strange from the start. Katt Williams hasn't been doing interviews lately. He's not out here promoting a new special, and he hasn't gone viral for a wild stand-up moment in a while. Normally, that would mean he's just living his life quietly, maybe preparing for the next part of his tour or simply staying out of the spotlight. But instead of fading away, his name keeps showing up everywhere. In fact, it feels louder now than before. And the truth is, it's not because of anything he's actively doing. It's because of everything happening around him. The situation really took off after the tragic death of Reggie Carroll. He wasn't a huge star yet, but he was on his way up. He had been working hard, building a name for himself in comedy, and slowly getting recognition. Being connected to Katt Williams' touring circle was a big step for him. It meant he was getting closer to bigger opportunities and gaining real attention in the industry. Then everything changed overnight. Reports confirmed that Reggie Carroll had been shot multiple times outside a place connected to people he knew. Emergency services arrived quickly and rushed him to the hospital. But sadly, he didn't survive. Just like that, a young comedian's life was cut short, and his family was left dealing with an unimaginable loss. At that moment, the focus should have been simple: honoring his life, supporting his loved ones, and remembering the journey he was on. But that's not what happened. Instead, the story shifted almost immediately. People stopped asking who Reggie Carroll was and started asking what this had to do with Katt Williams. That shift changed everything. Because once a tragedy gets tied to a celebrity, the original story often gets pushed aside. Instead of facts, speculation starts taking over. And that's exactly what happened here. Normally, when something like this occurs, major news outlets cover it heavily. There are detailed reports, updates from investigators, and consistent coverage. But in this case, there wasn't much of that. There was no long-running investigation in the headlines or constant updates from mainstream media. That silence created a gap, and the internet rushed in to fill it. Social media quickly became the main source of information. TikTok videos started breaking down theories. Twitter threads connected random dots. Instagram pages posted claims that sounded like insider information, even when they weren't verified. In that kind of environment, it becomes very hard to tell what's real and what isn't. And right in the middle of all that confusion, Katt Williams became the main focus. Not because there was clear evidence against him, but because people started connecting his name to the situation without proof. One rumor claimed the incident happened at a house owned by him. That turned out to be false. The property was linked to a corporate lease and had nothing to do with him directly. But by the time that clarification came out, the damage was already done. The original claim had spread much further than the truth. Then another story started circulating, saying that someone related to Katt was involved. That wasn't accurate either. The people mentioned were not family members, just loosely connected individuals. Still, the correction didn't travel as far as the rumor itself. This is how these situations grow online. It's not one big lie. It's many small pieces of misinformation spreading quickly. Each one adds a bit more doubt, and before long, people start believing something is off even without solid proof. Once that doubt is there, it feeds itself. People begin connecting unrelated details. Silence starts to look suspicious. Not responding gets seen as guilt. Meanwhile, Katt Williams stayed quiet. And that silence became the loudest part of the story. What many people don't consider is that staying quiet in situations like this is actually very common. When something serious happens and there's any chance of legal involvement, lawyers usually advise people not to speak publicly. Anything said too early can be taken out of context or used in ways that create more problems. So from a legal point of view, silence is often about being careful, not hiding anything. But online it's seen differently. On the internet, silence gets turned into suspicion. And suspicion quickly turns into a story. As the conversation grew, more voices jumped in. Some were just looking for attention. Others pushed strong opinions without any real evidence. One online commentator, in particular, started making bold claims directly linking Katt to the situation without proof. The tone wasn't about finding facts. It was more about accusing and creating drama. But when you actually look at the official side of things, the story is very different. Law enforcement responded to the scene, gathered evidence, and spoke to witnesses. They identified a suspect based on what they found and made an arrest. The investigation focused on people who were actually present at the location, not on outside speculation. At no point did any official report or statement connect Katt Williams to the crime. There was no evidence placing him at the scene or tying him to what happened. Eventually, authorities made it clear. There was nothing linking him to the incident. That should have been the end of it. But it wasn't. Because once a story takes off online, facts don't always stop it. They just become another part of the debate. Even after official clarification, the rumors kept going. Some people shifted their argument, saying maybe he wasn't directly involved but knew more than he was saying. Others claimed his silence meant he was avoiding attention. At that point, it wasn't about evidence anymore. It was about perception. Part of the reason this stuck so strongly is because of Katt Williams' public image. He's known for being outspoken, controversial, and unfiltered. Over the years, he's had legal issues, intense interviews, and moments that kept him in the spotlight for all kinds of reasons. Because of that, people already have strong opinions about him. When someone has that kind of reputation, it becomes easier for others to believe new accusations even without proof. It's not about what actually happened. It's about what people already think could happen. That's how public narratives get built. Not on facts, but on perception. At the same time, the entertainment industry has been under heavy scrutiny in recent years. There have been leaks, interviews, and stories that made people question what really goes on behind the scenes. Katt Williams has also been vocal about industry issues in the past. That made him a polarizing figure. Some people see him as someone exposing truths. Others see him as someone stirring controversy. So when something like this happens around him, reactions are never neutral. People interpret everything through their own beliefs about him. Some think he's being unfairly targeted. Others believe there's more to the story. But both sides often rely more on opinion than actual evidence. And in the middle of all this, the most important person gets overlooked: Reggie Carroll. He was a young comedian trying to build something for himself. He was working hard, gaining recognition, and pushing forward in a tough industry. His connection to Katt Williams was part of that journey, a sign that he was moving in the right direction. His story should have been about his talent, his progress, and the life he was building. Instead, his name became part of a bigger argument that had little to do with him. That's the sad reality of situations like this. The focus shifts away from the person who was lost and moves towards speculation about someone else. Meanwhile, Katt Williams continues to handle things the way he always has, by choosing when to speak and when not to. His silence frustrates some people because they want answers. But for others, it shows discipline and control. In a world where everyone reacts instantly, choosing not to respond can actually be a way to avoid making things worse. Still, staying quiet doesn't stop the conversation. It only slows it down. Once a story spreads far enough, it takes on a life of its own. Even when facts come out, even when investigations are completed, the original version often sticks in people's minds. That's what makes situations like this so complicated. Because at the end of the day, there are two different realities. One is based on official information, which shows no connection between Katt Williams and the incident. The other is based on public perception, which has been shaped by rumors, opinions, and online discussions. And those two realities don't always match. What remains clear, though, are two important truths. First, Reggie Carroll's life mattered. He was more than a headline or a rumor. He was a person with a future, and his story deserves respect, not distortion. Second, based on everything confirmed so far, Katt Williams has not been linked to the incident in any proven or legal way. Everything else exists in that gray area between fact and speculation. And that's where most modern controversies grow. Because today, the truth doesn't always travel the fastest. The story does.